It's April 1st, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a broadcast that fooled its viewers, a disappearance with no exit, and a man who claimed to vanish in plain sight. Let's begin. On April 1st, 1957, a program quietly aired on British television that millions believed was real. That evening, the BBC's respected current affairs program, Panorama, broadcasted a calm documentary-style report from southern Switzerland, showing families harvesting spaghetti from trees. The narrator spoke with complete authority. A mild winter, he explained, had led to a weak crop. The dreaded spaghetti weevil apparently wiped most of it out. Everything felt precise, measured, and real. Viewers watched as a woman carefully plucked strands of pasta from branches, laying them out in the sun to dry, and nothing about it felt like a joke. In 1950s Britain, spaghetti wasn't common. To many watching, it was unfamiliar, almost exotic food, something that came from tins, not kitchens, and certainly not trees. So when the broadcast ended, something strange happened. The BBC's phone lines lit up. Hundreds of people were calling in, some confused, others hopeful, all asking the same question: how do you grow your own spaghetti tree? The response they received was just as simplistic: place a sprig of spaghetti in a tin of tomato sauce and hope for the best. And just like that, one of the most convincing illusions that had ever aired had taken hold. On a day built for deception, April Fool's claims many victims, especially when it's from a trusted source. On April 1st, 2006, a man walked into a crowded bar to never be seen again. His name was Brian Shaffer, a 27-year-old medical student. It was just a normal night out, drinks, friends, and music. Security cameras captured him entering the Ugly Tuna Saloon around 1:15 a.m., laughing, relaxed, and completely unaware of what was about to happen. Nearly an hour later, he was seen again standing outside the bar, briefly talking to two women. Then he steps out of frame and vanishes. No footage ever shows him leaving, not through the main entrance, not down the escalator, not through the streets outside. When the bar closed, his friends waited in the crowd, but he never came out. They assumed he'd gone home, but his apartment was untouched. His car was still parked outside, and his phone was silent. By Monday, he had missed a flight to Miami, and that's when the police were involved. They combed the building, every exit, and even the rarely used service door leading to a construction zone. But nothing, no witnesses, no trace. Dogs searched the street, officers checked dumpsters, sewer systems, and rooftops. It was as if he had simply stopped existing. Then months later, something strange happened. His phone, which was dead for weeks, suddenly rang, not once, but 3 times. A signal pinged from a tower miles away, and then silence again. Nearly 2 decades later, the disappearance remains unsolved. No evidence of a crime, and no proof he ever left. How does someone walk into a bar full of people and simply never walk out? On April 1st, 1935, a man stepped into the public eye claiming he had done the impossible. His name was Stephen Pribil, a self-described professor of optics and an electrical engineer. But what he demonstrated didn't look like science. Inside a strange wooden box, wired with cables and a frame-like window, he placed ordinary objects: a teddy bear, a porcelain vase, and a small bronze figure. Witnesses were invited to inspect them first, showing that they were real. The machine was then switched on, and slowly, impossibly, the objects began to fade. Still there, but no longer visible. By the end of the demonstration, the box appeared empty, but according to Pribil, the objects hadn't gone anywhere. They were still there, just completely invisible. Photographs taken from that day stamped April 1st, an empty frame where something should clearly exist. Over the next year and a half, Pribil toured his device, joined by Adam Gashtani, who claimed he could make people vanish. Magazines covered it, crowds gathered, and skeptics questioned everything. But Pribil never admitted it was a trick. He insisted it was real, that it was science. He eventually vanished from history, with no trace of his work continuing, only a handful of photographs. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.